You know,
We talked at length about the issues that are going on in the workplace and the way that these things are changing. Um, what do you see as sort of the modern solution to a lot of these modern problems? Shortening the work weeks or shortening the hours. How do you feel about um, solutions or policies that could be implemented to improve the workplace?
I think that, well, number one, I'm all in favor of everyone having a minimum income. I'm in favor of that. I'm also honestly with you, I think that a lot of stuff that we do I think that the fact that we live in a society where if you don't work, you don't eat is stupid because we have the technology to where we can actually have it to where machines and other stuff do a lot of the stuff for us, and we don't have to do too much of anything except chill. And but the thing is, the fact that people with most of the resources want to keep most of the resources. Greed keeps the whole thing going. If people wasn't so damn greedy, we wouldn't really have to work because we have the technology to not do shit, honestly. But from a realistic standpoint, I think minimum income will help. Will go a long way so that we can, people that are innovators and creators can have the ability to work stuff out for themselves. Because eventually, a lot of the new jobs aren't going to be jobs. It's going to be more entrepreneurial anyway because of the
Yeah,
technology. So you
I
need the
mean,
minimum income to spark that.
and I 100% agree. I think there's so many of the problems that exist in our society. So many of them could be avoided with a minimum income. I mean, if you look at um, the source of people getting into petty crimes, so much of it is motivated by short-term income, like being able to put food on the table. Um, and not having a minimum income, it also forces people to find work that they don't actually want to do, that they might not be suitable for. And, I think a lot of us have been in that experience where it's like you're at a job that you hate, but you want to find new work, but you obviously can't quit the job that you're in right now. But if you can't quit the job that you're in right now, then you don't have time to interview for a better job. Whereas if you had a basic income, you could actually say, hey, I'm going to quit this job. This job is really toxic, but I'm going to ride on this minimum income and I'll just be frugal and I'll just, I'll apply for these X amount of months. But at least I have, my basic necessities taken care of. Um,
I also think
like,
companies need to pay more taxes.
oh yeah.
Tax avoidance is major. If companies would pay what they're supposed to pay in taxes, a lot of this wouldn't even be an issue. Prices across the board would go down.
And there's so many ways that um, companies utilize different strategies to avoid taxes and to avoid paying their fair share, and yet you go on Glassdoor and you go ahead and take a look at the salaries of people, and you see that sort of salary cliff where it's like, okay, these are our salaries and these are their salaries, and you sort of see like that middle ground of like, hey, why isn't there more distribution in this? Like, if they are saving all this money by not paying all these taxes, then where is that money going to if it's not going
Plus,
to
the people that's
us?
making all that money aren't necessarily smart for real. They're clever. That's that's a show topic in of itself, being clever versus smart. A lot of people are actually being able to do anything worthwhile. Like our president, he's great at branding. He's great at convincing people to give him more money to lose. But in terms of actually producing anything worth anything, no. And that's the problem. It's like, hey, I don't, I don't get it. I mean, like you said, it's just a major drop off in pay, but the talent doesn't justify the extreme pay or the extreme differences in pay. You know, and like particularly in an office environment, you have a lot of people like myself who are seasoned veterans who don't want to be in management because the first step of management is like operations. okay? Where you're responsible for a team of people to produce. And usually when you're a new leader, you get the worst producers. And the pay is doesn't match the work that you have to put in and the responsibility. It's like, I don't want to be a manager for what? Because I mean, I'm good at what I do, but if these guys and ladies don't listen, or they don't, or what if they all work hard but just don't hit the numbers that somebody else in a different office across the country arbitrarily set? Then I'm gonna get fired.
Yeah, and I found that so it's like it's incredibly stressful where you have a lot of these uh, metrics and goals that you need to hit, and sometimes there's, like you said, they're so arbitrarily set that sometimes there are jobs that you feel like, what is the point of this work? Like, where is this going to? Uh, it's just
No, the
it's made it
actuary,
so.
the actuary and the fiscal people, they didn't crunch the numbers to where, okay, so executive A, you can get your Ferrari this year if you make the plan like this.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
that's really the honest answer. I mean, it's not, a lot of times you will have someone who is not educated say they're fucking us, and you're like, what are you talking about? But they're right.
And so often it you really get this feeling that um, the way that certain businesses are financed, whether you're talking about employee pay or benefits, so much of it seems like it's built around the afterthought of, first, let's go ahead and see if we how we can fund the lifestyle of these particular executives. Once that minimum lifestyle of, they live in this house and they live in this gated community, blah blah blah. Once that's taken care of, whatever is left over, we'll use and disperse among everybody else.